The Houston Texans are kicking off their preseason tonight against the New England Patriots. And this preseason is different than last preseason, at least from my perspective, because last preseason, I thought there was no point in watching. There was not one point to watch. Davis Mills was the quarterback. Anyone with a brain knew that Davis Mills wasn't the guy. Anyone who thought otherwise, sorry, you just don't have the high football IQ that your boy, flag football legend Paul Gallant has. It's okay. Like, we can't all be special like me. But
I saw the videos online.
Yeah.
It's a nice touchdown catch, by the way.
Yeah, they didn't give me the ball enough. It's fine. I'm not bitter about it at all.
Did you get a game ball?
I got a ring. You know what? Okay. I got a ring. And if the Texans want to earn a ring, they're going to have to get off on the right foot in this game. But I'm curious as to how many people are actually going to watch tonight's game, because you should watch tonight's game. C.J. Stroud's going to be out there with the first team. How long he's in the game, I don't know. And after C.J. Stroud leaves, I feel like that is a pretty good time to turn off your television. But you got Andy Kalu on the call, which is pretty exciting. Kalu was one of the coaches for my flag team in the Media Bowl, so I'm a little bit biased on that front. But Andy's a good dude.
Did he scout you at all? Did he give you any tips on how you can improve your game?
No, he didn't. And Andy and Travis Johnson knew that I needed to get on the field more. And then my teammates who don't listen to coaching would all line up. It's like this one guy who is a famous radio DJ. I forget his name again. Way more famous than me.
Apparently not very famous. You don't know his name.
No, but I mean, he has 300,000 followers on his accounts. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I guess this guy just assumes he can get in there. But imagine you're lining up as the X and you're 5'4", at wide receiver. Get off the field, dude. I mean, I shouldn't be towering over our X, and I shouldn't be playing center. But again, no one cares about that. I'm bringing it back to this. You got Kevin Kugler and Andy Kalu on the call, as opposed to back in the day where you had Joel Myers and our guy, the voice man himself, Spencer Tillman here. I'm not going to lie. I already miss hearing Spencer Tillman's sayings. I don't know what smoke through a keyhole means, but he used to talk about how sometimes a running back would blast through a hole, smoke through a keyhole. And I'm like, I don't think keyholes are big enough for smoke to go through in 2023. But at one point, they probably were. Probably not since the 1970s. Can smoke
get through anything? I mean, smoke.
Well, you can't smoke inside either. So there's that.
Well, sure. But what does
illegal.
That have to do with it getting through a keyhole?
But there's a smoke through the keyhole. So
yeah, but I mean, it's something that can catch fire. It doesn't mean you have to smoke a cigarette.
That's the perfect time to smoke a cigarette. While your house is burning down and you're stuck inside it.
That'd be the one time you light up?
Yeah, may as well pull it out. And the other one was have an apple and a roadmap. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it was well, listen, this guy's an apple and a roadmap.
Cool.
I will say, Spencer Tillman is silky smooth, so we will miss the silky smoothness of Spencer on the broadcast. But I'm curious as to how many people actually plan on watching the Texans preseason game tonight. We did get a text on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. You're a, quote, just sports stiff, unlistenable. Imagine if I was a just sports guy. What would I do here? What's the next part of this show? Because we have been talking a lot about noted athlete Tony Macaroni, who knows how to wield a feather and touch an ass or two. But what would I talk about here? Would I read the Astros lineup up and down as they're in a rain delay before the series finale against the Baltimore Orioles? They've won 2 games. They're looking for the sweep. Would be the most impressive sweep of the season. Do I just go up and down the lineup and look for things to nitpick? I think that's the play. That would be the first play in this segment if I was a just sports stiff. And then the next thing I do is I would lay down all the keys to a Texans victory in a preseason game, which I actually will watch. Brian McDonald behind the glass. I did not watch a second of the Texans preseason last year. You know why? Because Davis Mills was the quarterback. This year, C.J. Stroud's the quarterback. There are more young pieces on the team. Will Anderson. I'm looking for Kenyon Green to play a little bit better. You take a look at the secondary. Is Derek Stingley going to look a little bit more confident in himself?
Plus, you have the hardest worker of all time, Will Anderson, who he's studying.
Oh, thanks for bringing that up, B-Mac, because there was a Reddit post. Will Anderson was in the Texans film room. He was the only guy there at 7 in the morning.
No days off, Paul. No days off.
Some person was, I guess, on a tour of the NRG Stadium facility and went into the film room. And he said that Will Anderson was still there. But this wasn't like fake hard work, someone taking a picture of the hard work that Will Anderson knew to make Will Anderson look better. This seemed to be an authentic. Will Anderson was just there super early by himself watching film.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing there, but that post on Reddit was hysterical because there was all the dramatics thrown into the language he was using, like the lights weren't even on, and yet Will Anderson remained. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
it's a picture, bro. We can see that the lights are on. I mean, not to take credit away from Will Anderson, but the lights were on.
But he was there.
He was there.
He was there. I got to say, the things that are exciting me the most the last couple of days have not been C.J. Stroud, because quarterbacks all have good moments and bad moments in camp. It hasn't been Derek Stingley. What's excited me most has been Will Anderson. And there have been a couple of highlights that have stood out, but it really feels like they got who they thought they were getting. And, of course, that could totally change in these games. But I think if we're putting stock into anything, I think that Anderson's stock right now is buy. Now, with Stroud, and it's not based off of that picture, B-Mac.
I'm laughing at the NSYNC reference, not the fact that
that wasn't even an NSYNC reference. That was a buy, like a stock. No. I'm not saying goodbye.
You weren't even.
I'm not saying goodbye. No, I wasn't. No, listen, I'm not that creative. Okay, like
but saying it 3 consecutive times in that pattern.
No,
buy.
You're yelling it like buy, like you're one of those crazy stock people in New York.
The only thing that was missing was you doing the hand thing across the screen.
As brought up by Pincha, I would be a good mime. I'm very I should be Italian. Look at my hands moving around. You know, I'm very expressive with my hands. Kind of like Tony Macaroni is expressive with his feather touching asses.
Italians better than Irishmen?
Yeah.
That would fit in more.
Italians dress great. Italians packing heat, if you will.
That's where I assumed you were going.
Italians, great cooks.
Are you a great cook?
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
See, I identify as Italian, except for the one thing. Take your guess as to which one of those things it is. Some comments here. Will you watch tonight's Texans game? Tony the Handsome says, I'm hopeless. I watch every damn game. Will you watch it all the way through is the real question. King of all Twitches says, if you watch Texans preseason, you're hopeless. I think it's different when there's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Because I would agree. Because
I didn't watch last year either, but I mean, C.J. Stroud, I'm gonna at least probably watch until the relevant players are off the field. And it's the first game, so that might be before halftime.
Mm-hmm.
But when, like, the rookies I want to see, like when Tank Dell's off the field, when John Mechie's off the field, I don't know if Petrie's starting, but when these young first and second year players are taken off the field, then I'll turn it off. But I'll watch until that point.
I have to watch it for work, and last year I didn't think it was worth talking about the Texans at all.
No.
Until they did something
last year.
Right, because there wasn't a young quarterback. Like that was my whole thought.
You knew they were going to win 3 games, and it didn't matter. So there's nothing to really break. What are you going to come back and break down the most important plays in the game?
Exactly. So so I will watch the game, and I will have notes, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I am curious as to how many people are going to watch the whole game. What else do we have? Blah 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 blah. Wait, hang on a second. I'm bad at reading. We've also got Degenerate Gambler 1. He's going to watch the game, but I want to know if Degenerate Gambler is going to actually gamble on the Texans preseason game. Lone Ranger 614. Since the beginning, I've probably missed 4 to 5 games with the Texans, and I even watched it in a hospital bed in 2013 as a 25-year-old heart attack survivor. Shout out to you, dude.
2013, they won 2 games that year.
That is like, it's like you're trying to kill yourself there.
It feels a little bit.
You're in the hospital. Like, I'm gonna watch the 14-game losing streak after Matt Schaub started throwing pick six after pick six after pick six. I did ask if people are gambling on this game. A comment from Degenerate Gambler 1. He says he parlayed the Astros and Texans.
So he's trying to lose money.
I gotta say, that is some.
I don't bet a lot, but from what I hear, the
chutzpah.
people who do, parlaying just loses money.
Yeah, it seems like you're just trying to cash in big. And
yeah, because you have to hit. I mean,
it's
not to say the obvious. You have to hit on every single part of it instead of just betting it individually and winning, 5 parts of it instead of the full 7.
This is a 2-part parlay, but you got to have some real love of gambling, I said in quotation marks, to gamble on a preseason game. But here is a texter from the 832. Tonight's game wouldn't be bad to bet on. Case Keenum will probably get the most playing time, and he's a pretty serviceable quarterback compared to the Patriots' third-string quarterback. This is not a bad argument.
Oh, my God.
But here's the thing you got to think about.
This is how every huge gambling loss starts. I've got this in, right?
Bailey Zappi, the Patriots' backup quarterback, actually started last year for a couple of games instead of Mac Jones, partly due to injury, but partly due to vibes. And I think that Bailey Zappi is going to be playing his ass off in this game.
I would assume Zappi's going to play most of the game, right? So I wouldn't even think the Patriots' third stringer is really going to get in all that much. I probably want to see what Zappi has.
I wonder if Mac Jones even plays that long too. So that element adds to more Zappi time. I don't know who their third string quarterback is.
Doesn't matter.
That is a fair point about Case Keenum.
If I was going to bet anything in a training camp, not a training camp game, but a preseason game, it would just be the under because you assume these teams just aren't ready yet. I don't know what the over/under is, but
I don't want it.
I'm not gonna look it up, and I'm not gonna bet it.
Just gotta say, like you need help if you're gambling on the preseason.
I'm not even gonna look at it.